Heyo, are we here? Say hey if we're live. Are we live? I think I hear me. Welcome everybody. Thanks for showing up on this marvelous Friday. Can you hear me? I got to suppress my voice on the replay right there. Wow, it won't mute myself. Weird. Yeah, echo. Thank you, Ken. Hey, Ken. Yeah, echo. Thank you, Ken. Hey, Ken. So let me properly mute myself here. I'm still there. It's not acquiescing. Maybe we don't watch on that. all the bugs of going live when you think you have this thing. Maybe I'll have to get back into that. I'm gonna shut that down. Hey, how are you guys doing? Thanks so much for coming in. Wow, it's still going. Thanks so much for coming in. It's still going. That is so weird. There's a ghost in my machine. There it is. What's still open? I could just mute the whole computer, Ken. You're so right. But then we couldn't have like cool trap music in the background. And you'd just be listening to me the whole time. Do you guys really want that? Don't you want tunes too? Annie, hello, Madam Annie. And the Sandmaker, Randy, is here in the house. Well, good, Ken. I'm glad that this is also entertaining. It turns out I had two windows open with my live for some reason. I don't know. Does anybody else? Hey, Lisa. Does anybody else load the array at the top of their Googly? And, you just got so many tabs open, like, you have no idea. Like, they just, like, run off and ad infinitum, like, off into, like, the cyber world to the right. So, yeah, I just had to search down the second tab. Greg is in the house. Good to see you. Tyler, hey, welcome. Liking the music, but I'd be just as fun. Well, Tyler, thank you. And let's see, who else? Oh, Allison is here. I'm seeing Allison. Awesome. And let's see, did I miss some folks? Well, thank you guys so much for popping in on this fantastic beautiful Friday. I'm seeing I'm trying to scroll back a little bit in the conversation, and I'm seeing that some folks are having rain, or somebody wants some of that rain. Sandmaker sounds like he's in the rain. And we are 100% sunshine and happy smiles here in Oregon. Actually, I lie like a rug just a little bit. Laird Kenneth, is that like Laird Hamilton, like Laird Ain't Scared? Jim, hey, nice to see you. And so where was it? Oh yeah, we had pea soup fog that was like fighting with the sun today. So at any given time I thought, like, am I gonna have a jacket on, or is it shorts and a tank top? But yeah, I've definitely been catching some sun, Greg. And oh, Laird is Scottish for Lord. I should know that on account that I'm supposed to be from that land. But then I thought of, I don't know if you guys know of the Laird Hamilton individual who is like the waterman extraordinaire and has like superfood also. But tangents aside, I've been carving out in the outside. You can see my chair's legs right there out the window. It's the outdoor studio. Got my IV unit, as Ken was saying, hanging here with my rotary tools, and the the thing swings right out there, and I get to be in the sun. But more importantly, as far as particles go, they're not floating around in this room, and they're hopefully not going into me either. So I love that, and of course the splatters and everything. And it looks like somebody, oh, Twister's here. Awesome. Hey, Rock Twister. Thank you. Twister's in the house. Good to see you. And so last installment, our cliffhanger last time was that we were going to get into some of our shells. And as people are landing here, I'm going to explain that. Here's a fossil shell, and this one is not from here. Those of you who have been paying attention to what we do over on the podcast and some of the other people's channels, this might look a whole lot like a Florida one. And yeah, even the ocean sounds wrong. So, yeah, right? Ken, I sort of dusted. So yes, there's going to be a promissory notification at the end of this intro that I'm working on. So this is a Florida fossil shell. This one's a whelk that Theo sent me. And so, of course, his name is Lawrence. And they come already prepped. A UV light I saw something about. And so somebody needs to comment so that comes back. Or else I have to refer to the big screen. But so those guys are super lucky because these huge things, but that does look Florida. Did I get myself a UV light yet? No, I haven't. I still am working on, oh my gosh, you guys, my toy list is so long. I just feel terrible about like how many things I need. So we on the Oregon coast, we get our lovely fossil shells are typically in a bunch of matrix, and that matrix is no joke. This is actually like a bunch of fossil shells together. So we not only have matrix materials, but we have these fantastic conglomerates. And so our identification isn't, pick it up off of the beach and bada boom, bada, you got it. We gotta do some work as to figuring out what we have. And so this book is one that I absolutely love using. And I found out that that's it. Like, I knew it was out of print, but I've like soaked it in coffee in the car in the morning, trying to look things up as soon as I get back to my vehicle after finding stuff. And it's thin though. This can't possibly have all of the shells of the world, right? Hey, squirrel, good to see ya. Double bubbles, toil and troubles. And so I think that somebody else came in too, and I'm sorry, I'm squinting, but you guys that also do these know that the writing's really small if you're using your phone. So I'm not stink eyeing everybody. Let's see. I missed one, and it's not. Send us some of that. Wait, no. Oh, it's because it's way up high. Yes. I think we need that reference like every single time from Shakespeare, right? Well-used equipment is good. I'm just trying to catch up really quick, you guys. All right. I think I got it. Having fun with families and toys and things. Okay. So I like the last podcast I had just picked up this I just picked up this book, and this is a reference to the fossil shells here on our coastline, but also up to Washington. And so this is the marine, oh gosh, paleontology of the marine tertiary formations of Oregon and Washington. So I mean, you have to like have the T finger even to say the title of this book. It's so important, but fabulous. And so we're gonna actually, you can see that I've put section markers on a few because we're gonna check out some of the stuff that we have. And I also have some total anomalies that I want to share with you. Some of you might have seen a thing or two here. But most of this stuff I don't think I've shared, except for maybe when I found it in a video and or maybe on the podcast. And so yeah, some of this stuff is going to be like new to everybody, including me, since I put it in my bag. And it looks like Greg, are you going on another rock hounding trip? I mean, I know like camping and rock hounding is why you take vacations, right? I mean, isn't that why any of us do? Yes, Allison, it's a big book, and we're so blessed in the first place to have a book that's written about our local fossils even at all. It's been, worldwide, it's under researched. And you guys know, just like insects, there's like so many shells, period, that you have the range of a genre, and the species, and then the subspecies, and the little variations and stuff like that. It's just it's vast. And so oh, Herkimer's, oh, that's gonna be super cool. I'm so excited for you guys. I'm hoping that everybody's going to be making copious videos. Not that that's any kind of assignment. It's a mission if you choose to accept it. Try not to have it self-destruct on you. Yeah, totally what fun. gotta have tangents. Yeah, so we're gonna be getting into this book and looking at some of the shells. And then also I was going to talk a little bit about the projects that I've been on. And Ken, at the end, I'm going to take you guys back there to look at some of the shells. They're totally not exciting. Like there's some fossils back there, but it's not like they're my rock shells like in Kyle's rock room or something like that. There's just some dusty stuff back there, and then there's like all the stuff that's loaded on top of my my roll top desk. Like, oh, there's a rock pile, and that one's always changing because I usually bring stuff in here to use for a photo op or something like that, and then it like gets rotated back downstairs. Now, one of these days, I'll take y'all downstairs. That'll be more of a fun trip. But for now, we'll go check that out. But I'm saving that until the end because the last time I moved the camera around a whole bunch, or the phone around a whole bunch while I was faceting, you guys remember that's when I lost you guys. And so there was something that I was doing, I think, that whenever I moved the camera, it would get all upset. And so I'm going to move us at the end just in case I lose you guys taking you for the tour. At least that would be it. Are you guys renting a U-Haul for real, Greg? I don't want to lose y'all, Tyler. So yeah, I'm going to be as careful as possible and just going to load down the SUV. Okay. Because mad respect if you guys were going to get a U-Haul for this thing. I mean, that's some serious seeking. All right. And so I think that First of all, the hammer and the metal shears on the wall. Yeah, right. Um, that stuff gets used like all of the time. That's off of my left hand. The ring mallet is up there too. We'll go visit that. And one of the reasons why the ring mallet is out, the challenge is out. Yeah, who wants to get a U-Haul and then pick me up? We'll go out and use some of the tools. But oh yeah, so the ring mallet, I don't know how many of you guys are jewelry makers, but say you've got your ring mandrel, like it just so happened to be sitting right here. But you put the ring on, and then if you need to size it, you don't want to put little dings into your ring that you're just trying to finish. And so you hit it with a rawhide mallet. Now, I am going to ask you what creature on this planet, especially if you have 3 of them, loves rawhide? It's a question. It's not hypothetical. So, yeah. That would be epic, Greg. Yes, and Twister gets it. Turtles, I don't know about turtles. Like beavers probably as well. But yeah, Lisa and Randy, if you leave things, and squirrels, we have some really, dare I say, yeah. I don't dare, I guess. We have some very aggressive squirrels. Husbands, like if he chewed on my ring mandrel, or rather the my little hammer there, the mallet, I just get him to buy me another one. 60s Western show fans. Wrong answers only. Oh, here, I'll show you a demonstration of something. I don't know if you guys saw this before. And Trekkies, Trekkies, man. Yeah, you got to really watch out. Like ever since the Tribbles, those guys have seriously bad eating habits, and yeah. So this is an old school bezel setter. And I have had this for over 30 years. You buy good tools and you never have to buy another one. I just absolutely love this. This is the very, very first bezel setter that I ever bought. Like, I think from Tucson Gem Show. And Oahi decided that it was super tasty. And that just happened. Yeah, it's a burnishing tool. Thank you. Bezel setter, burnishing tool. There's better words than the ones that I use all the time. Oyster shucker, I'll bet you that works too. It's very customized now. Yeah. Yeah, why don't we see Ken and Harry Mudd at the same time ever? It's a very, very special treat. But yeah, and he's been sniffing, like whenever I put the mallet down. Yeah, but now it's a keepsake. I'll probably just sand it so that it doesn't poke me when I'm like setting. But now it's like, oh, look it's his bite marks. But I wouldn't feel the same way about the mallet because it would be ruined. At least that's not ruined. Okay, so great. Now I need more things. Good thing we have tons of stones to work through. I heard that. Shove the bulb of a turkey baster over the end of it. Like we have a prophylactic for the burnisher. That just made my evening. Okay, so I was talking about our matrix. Some of the big stones or some of the big shells that we have are easy to identify, and yet there's like different subspecies. Wanted to show you guys an example of a lot of times like shell conglomerations. can be little guys like this. And you see these probably, not only in the center of our country, but also at the beach, like all the time. And we've got all these bivalves that are part of a death event, a mass extinction. Although I was in an area that I like to call Pectin Alley. And when you find the pectins, they are oftentimes like this. And they look like this on, oh, wait. And they look like this on the other side. I was going to say they look like this on the outside because I thought it was this one. So you've got like a minding my own business as a skipping rock, and then a bivalve retirement pool. I love it. Shady Cove. Aw. I might have to do something about that on a video at some point. So you pick up a big saucery looking concretion like this, and you guys can see there's a rim around this guy that is showing us that is a woolly mammoth sized pectin, for my fist for reference. And so these guys being smaller, of course, but I was pretty excited to see that this particular place in Pectin Alley actually had compacted all of these pectins together into a death plate, and that is so excited. So I'm seeing you guys are like, open it. Ken, in Jared's video, Kent Gibson that we had over on the podcast, he actually is really good at going like tap, 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 and the thing opens and it's just gorgeous. Me, not so much. And so I usually use hammers for something like this until I find a bigger one. I'm not opening this one just in case I ruin it. And so, or maybe I'll invite Kent over and he can do it. Meanwhile, when I find the bigger platter. But yeah, they're neat specimens. And so I just kind of wanted to show you like oftentimes how a lot of these are found, and then we'll get into some of the specifics. Here's another conglomerate, and you can see that this one's a bivalve one again. And there are pieces poking out that if I wanted to prep this out, like that's really good actually. You could get a very, very decent ID off of that particular bivalve. There's plenty of information there that would be diagnostic, especially if I decided to prep the rest of this thing out. And, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. It's probably two sides, and it's probably got some fun stuff going on inside that void. Let's see. Oh, and the ghost is here. Hey, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming by. And did I ever get down to dig for some sunstones yet? This summer was a question just from Greg, and that hasn't happened yet. So yeah, this summer we hadn't planned to go hit the sunstones until a little bit later. And then I also have a memorial for a family member that has passed that I need to go to first. And so it's probably going to be a little bit later on in the season, which is absolutely fine. I just caught word that Chris over at the Spectrum has opened a new pit. And so I'm kind of, there's Druzy in that. Wow. I hadn't really looked at that one yet. So, so yeah, we're definitely gonna be getting down there to do that. And let's see. Hey, Karen, do you ever get the fossil crabs out there or just the shells? Well, Tyler, That is a super good question, and just darn near everybody in this chat is probably going to chime in that she wants a crab really bad. I probably have a crab in my collection that I don't know about, but I don't know about any crabs that I have found yet. I've found some really interesting things. Boy, I'm tempted. I can't remember where I just saw this morning one of the, oh, I think when we go back there, we'll see what looks like a little, it's either a crab claw or it's actually a fossilized like crayfish or shrimp that we're seeing the two sides instead of just one big. And so I've got some stuff in there that and when I say in there, I mean in the matrix material that I can't wait to get out of the matrix material, but I need the proper tools, like the air scribe is one of them, and being able to preserve it afterwards. And so I need some B72 that still needs to get ordered. I'm also really waiting for a penguin if I get a chance to go out to New Zealand, or if I get to discover the very first one that we have on our coastline. But actually, I came up with a bone not too long ago at one of the last hunts this year that seemed to be hollow. And so, and Kent was showing me a few of his that were also hollow, and so it's really interesting to see somebody else's material from their massive collection that has corollaries to some of the things that you have in your collection. And so these are things that I'll slowly but surely be able to prep and figure out, okay, I've got a bird here or what have you, which would be very rare and cool. Yeah, me too. I love watching the fossils get chipped away. And for me so far, it's been a meditation. So I've prepped some of the shells, which we're about to look at. And those I don't feel so bad about, because our matrix, you can grind through the matrix material, and by the time you get to the shell itself, it's chipping away pretty nicely. And so it's not too sticky. And I'm sure that you've heard Ma'am Lambo talk about this if you watch Ma'am Lambo's channel, where some of the matrix is, super sticky on its subject, and you have to be so careful to be taking it off without taking off some of the material from your little specimen. And so then you're getting the air scribes out, or you're using more acid, just depending on how delicate you want to be as far as that's concerned. And yes, Squirrel, Kent is just amazing, and it's really exciting that his whole collection is being studied by Oregon State University, because not only do we have the examples of what's there, but we're soon going to know so much more about those samples that he's brought to them. They're getting the research, like I was saying before, there's like almost no way they can research, say, all the shells and all the bones and stuff like that. But in our little neck of the woods, we actually have some people very interested in that, and that are. So incredible. Catching up here. Speaking of fossils, Greg just saw an article about someone finding a mammoth tooth in a creek in Oregon. Yeah, it was a boy. It was a little boy. Like he's like 10 or 12 or something like that. I mean, can you imagine the absolute thrill? So yeah, we have that stuff out here, not so much on the coast, but anything can end up on the coast. Obviously it can just flow down one of the rivers. And so we gotta keep our minds open, which I'm all about. Let's see. Yeah. Ma'am Lambo is super amazing rock twister for sure. He's very, very inspiring and very, very helpful. He's a wonderful resource as well. A 9-year-old. This was in April. Yeah, thank you for clarifying. Yeah, I saw the little video of him, and I mean, it was just, he had such infectious exuberance. I'm very excited for him. I mean, perhaps this is like launching some kind of cool thing for him, but also in light of that, probably launching a lot of other people to look closer and maybe get into it. Very, very cool. Yes. Ken, love it when kids make the big finds. That's the best. It's like when a kid catches, the ball at a baseball game or, something like that. I just, it's way cooler than an adult for some reason. I just saw pizza. What? First ever saw not just the first LOL thinking about pizza. I just made a comment not too long ago about how I think sunstones make everything look better, even on a pizza. Yeah, an amazing childhood memory. Yeah. Okay, Rod Twister. I was like trying to parse through that. Okay. So in our fossil record, also everything gets jammed up a bunch. And so you end up with these vestiges of stuff that you cannot identify, not if you were like the coolest person in the entire world. And what is this called, everybody? What is it called? Who knows how to spell it? It's my favorite. Cheers to you and your health. Yes, Steinkern. It's a rock. That too. Prost. Skull. Cheers. Steinkern. I'm just gonna have to come up with a shirt with just the, all caps Steinkern across it and just see. Thanks, guys. All right. So let's turn this camera onto some of the cool things that we can look at. Snail nut. Hey, Thirst. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Awesome. Welcome to the live. Sold. We're talking, right? We're talking about fossil shells, and we're gonna do some quick research really quick. I'm gonna do that thing where I make everybody sick here momentarily. So if you need to take your Dramamine after having that drink, do so now. This is always like an interesting trip. Okay, so here we go. It always seems like things aren't long enough, like cords and stuff like that. So let's see. I'm gonna try not to blow up the phone again too. Wait, where's the thing? Okay. Ew. Okay. Here we are. You guys wanted to see a close-up of my hand, right? Okay, here's where the magic is going to happen. You guys are going to be doing the magic. So we've got some shells in the matrix. And these are some of the ones that I thought, like, how interesting. Here's our Steinkern. Is this a Steinkern, guys? Is this a shell in the matrix? How about this one? What an interesting shape, right? What do we have? Petrified mouse. we have there's a full-on glitch in the matrix, right? As a viewer, I always appreciate your good nasal hygiene, right? You gotta check for the bats in the cave, and maybe if you need to give it a good shave. Hey Sonia, what a great time for you to pop in, like context and all. Like, what are we even talking about? Yeah, Tyler, for sure. We're gonna be opening these up for sure. I'm just wondering, should I douse them in acid or should these be cracked or cut? I'm excited though. So one of the things that, where did I put that? Got a lot of where did I put that today. Here we have a shell that's partially Steinkerned out, but you can see it's in the matrix. We do have Musashia shells that like start getting large like that. This one, you know, that's, I think that's the end, and this appears to be a ficus shell, and so that would be the top, and still a pretty big shell. But I'm really curious about these, so I'm gonna look here. Yeah, cut one and dose one. Okay, you get some 4-way, and I'm gonna cut you, or should it go the other way? I'm not sure. Window pane. Okay. And so that's one of the things that we look at. We look at little guys like this. You look like a nice little hole, and that is like 99.999% a clam belly. Let's go inside, shall we? So nicely calcified clam belly. And so we could go ahead and do a prep on this to find out what clam that belonged to. Yeah, that would be calcite crystals, more than likely. Thirst. That clam be eating some crystals. Yeah. Got a touch of indigestion, it looks like. So here's an Anodara shell that I found that has kind of like the same sort of situation going on. Some really nice spots. And so I probably, you know, won't root this guy out. Plus he's pretty a neat specimen, just, you know, the belly being in there. Maybe just taking the shell halfway out. What do you guys think? Sugar. A fossilized hole. Right? Yeah, that takes a very premium price. It's a bug. Yeah. Yeah, that is one nice crystallized belly button. It's very sexy, I think. Lots of love to that. Okay. And then I think I showed it in the picture. So after the picture, did I just chuck it outside? Or what did I do with it? Oh, yeah, I showed it at the beginning. So here's another one where we're seeing, you know, some nice crystallized insides. And that's like, this is just a weird plate because, you know, that wasn't being eaten by the Anodara or anything. It's just all rested that way. That's a kind of neat one. And, you know, some of you have seen the agate. That's what the agate looks like on the inside of the fossil shell. But they can be calcite, they can be agate, they can be quartz. That one has quartz too, like right there. And that one I just, you know, did a window on just so that we could see what was going on in there. Zoomies in full effect. Yeah. And so what we've got to start identifying, the agate shells are insane. I definitely, I'm into collecting them, and run across a few each season. Again, Jared did really nicely when he was here. Those two found several. And here's another example of one that I windowed that had some nice quartz there. And yeah, so always a thrill. You feel lucky. So for identifying, I guess I need to zoom out. Maybe that's what Ken was trying to say. So here is a fossil shell like this one that is completely in the matrix. there's a sidecar that's coming out, but from that bottom all the way to that top is a fossil gastropod sitting there. And so we can get in there and prep it and have a perfect one that we can discover, and then we can ID. This is what I did with this one. And I polished this one also, and this one actually was open right there, so it wore away. But there's actually a video, I think I have a video of this one, where I prep it and we get into the nodes and find all of the distinguishing factors on this guy. A really perfect top, like nothing's broken. And so we're gonna crack open the big red book and see if there's enough diagnostic stuff here to be able to figure that guy out. And we've got a couple of the other ones that we've had a chance to do that too as well. And so I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way. And book. Oh, first, really quick, this might be helpful. So, whoa. I just did that to you guys, sorry. Let me catch up here really quick. All these beautiful shells need everyone to hit that thumbs up button. You guys are so cool. Thank you, Rock Twister. And thank you, yeah, like the that needs to, gosh, that's terrible as far as the fidelity goes. Do I need to flip it again? Hold on. Let me do the thing. This, and then this. And let's see if that helps. Hey, Chris, thanks for coming. I'm trying to get my reference into, nope, that's still bad. Is that bad for people? Can you guys not see what is going on there? I'm going to check my settings here really quick. Auto has me on really low. Okay, it is clear. Sorry, guys. It was me on my end. Okay. So, yeah, thanks a lot, you guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we have like these different factors when we're going for an ID, and I just wanted to go through this super quick. Not that I'm trying to teach anybody anything, but you know, if I say like a node, like, you know that I'm talking about this like nice little mound, this little nipple guy on the side, the shoulder, the spine, concentric ribbing, you know, all these fabulous words that go along with it, like aperture, and these things, like the little canal and all that, actually are diagnostic, you know, if you've got a flare here or not, if there's, you know, spines on the nodes, and, you know, what about the direction of the ribbing and all that kind of stuff. And so I just wanted to show you that really quick, just so that we kind of have the lexicon for what we're talking about. And then the rest of it is like super pretty pictures, right? Okay. Wait. Oh, Kirk. Hey, thank you for coming. I saw that you just sent me something, and so I can't wait to see the picture. I have a feeling that it is some tsunami tea cups that I get to look at, and I'm excited. Okay, let's see. Book is deep, folks. This is a super deep book. And I've got it opened up right away to the Anadara, because I talk about Anadaras all the time. Now, you guys think that I'm walking along on the beach and I'm making it up as I'm going along, right? When I'm like, hey, yeah, like that's an Anadara. But there are some things that we have here on the coast that are easier than hard to identify. And so I definitely got some of the low-hanging fruit right away, and don't do the worst job on figuring out what we're looking at. And so, I mean, that one even has like the same kind of banding as that one in the picture. And so Anidaras are an easy one. And I'm not just being random and making up things as I go along. Totally noodle, dude. It's got the wrong aperture. I love it. That'll open your aperture. I love it. That shell can whirl my spire at any time. Yeah, it was sounding risque. I love it, though. You guys are awesome. And so again, we've got the pecten. We've got some, and this is a pecten, and then these are others that, you know, for comparison, they would show us. So let's see. I got a big pecten. Mine is bigger than theirs. That's just a picture, but they try to, you know, 1x it in this book, like it's the actual size, or they'd show next to it, like if it's smaller than or bigger than. We've got some different kinds of pectens. I think the patino pecten is the one that we have the most of here. But to be honest, you know, this is for up towards Washington as well, and so one of the tells is how many of these ribs we get. And you can also tell the quote unquote left from the right because of tells as well. And so I'm not sure, like, you know, if pectens are left-handed or right-handed, and that's why there's a left or a right, a top or a bottom. Like, you know, you talk to the bottom and it probably wouldn't say it's the bottom. It would say it was the top. I mean, it's all a matter of perspective, right? So we're also not trying to hurt any shell's feelings here. And so those were some of the ones that we have already covered. You can see that these clams go on for days, bivalves, I should say. So many different kinds. And those of you who have been, say, clamming, know, you know, like Kleinocardia and the gooey ducks and the razors and all these different kinds of, have I been working on those pecs? Heck yeah! Doing my reps for the pecs. And it always reminds me of pecten as well. Yeah. It'll make you want an apple or a pear. Good for homemade jam. Gyral pecten. This is interesting because there's a hole in that guy, and that might have been how he died. And some of our snails, we're going to get to these guys, but some of these guys are voracious killers. So you got to be careful because they eat other shellfish and each other. So pretty scary. But that's just a preview to some of the drama for later. You guys are having a good time. I love it. He hung out at the wrong sandbar. Yeah, right? Got drunk and stumbled out of there, and the snail got him. Yeah. And don't take snail pace for granted because they get busy. It kind of reminds me of the Austin Powers, where the steamroller's coming down the hallway. No. Yeah, like for an hour. Snail. So just I'm kind of just flipping through so that you guys can see some of it. But this is, you know, obviously what you end up having to do as you are trying to look for the guys that you want to ID. So we've got little or big spirals, like this guy that I was showing you before. I don't think that this is the bottom. That seems off kilter. There's probably a whole nother guy that's going off this way. And this guy might only go down another little bit. You know, that's one of the reasons why you kind of, it might be a great idea to prep some of these so that you know, like, oh, this kind of thick bodied guy is this guy here maybe. And so I don't know, for me, this kind of sleuthing is so much fun. Oh, the chiral shell is one that spirals reverse from the normal direction. So there aren't that many. And was chiral shell instead of spiral shell like dyslexia like realized, you know, in spelling chiral as well? I'm just wondering. I wonder if the Seek app Charlie showed me would work on IDing stuff like this. Interesting, Greg. Tell us more. Tell us more about the Seek app that you're talking about. So let's hone in on this guy here. Because we have the entire, like, sometimes these guys do come out of their concretions because, like I said, when you get to the shell, at least for our concretions immediately in my area, once you get like the matrix worked down, a lot of times it's just wanting to flake off instead of it being super sticky. And so sometimes you do get these, this guy, same thing. I just found this guy just like this. These guys were found on the beach just like this. They were free of their matrix and kind of pre-prepped, although a telltale for us is that there's going to be cement of the matrix inside. So this is actually really important right here. And like this little belly button here next to the aperture, there's a really super good word for that too. And I'm spacing it right now, but this will be filled in on some and it'll be like a hole in others. And it's diagnostic. Like there's a bunch of these little snail shells that look the same. A lot of people would call that like a periwinkle style shell. And whether or not that hole, you know, in this one, you can see like that hole would have gone clear up into the center. A lot of times it's plugged. And so if the hole goes up there, you've like just cut out a bunch of the different possibilities and you're down to a few, which is super cool. Let's see. I wonder, okay, it works for plants and spiders and birds, etc. Kind of like Google Lens, I guess. Okay, cool. Like, hey, Greg, I'll try it and we can put it through some rigors, like see if it agrees with some of the things that we're finding out here. Thirst fast is, I don't know anything about working with fossils. Can you stabilize them before working on them? Yeah, some of them you definitely want to stabilize. Like I have a short video of me just blowing apart a very fragile fossil kind of, you know, in the likes of something like this that had agate on the inside. Although for a lot of our prepping, no stabilization is needed. You just, as soon as you get to, like if I'm doing a bone, I would want to put a coating so that, say, the acid doesn't get to it, or I'm just being very careful with the air scribe or whatever I'm using to get to it. And so at any rate, this one doesn't look like it's, this one doesn't look like it's lost anything off the bottom. And so that doesn't make this one a candidate, you know, like in some ways you could go like, well, maybe it just lost some, because so often these guys will lose some portion of their body, right? And then you don't know, like, is it just missing that part? And we've got this part of it, or... you know, is that the true bottom? And a lot of times, you know, if we've got things that would show us that is the bottom, then you know, we're a little bit closer to being able to make a good ID. Now, I'm feeling like just on this one page, we're going to turn some pages, that, you know, we have some very close possibilities. The way that this one's stacked and not so flattened, we're looking at something more along the lines of a guy like this, than say a guy like that one over there. And so, for instance, this one is an Amaralina. And so, you know, I could go and see, yep, that's part of our region. You know, this could have gotten worn a little bit, so I'm not too worried about it not being as tall as, just because a lot of times stuff gets worn down, but you can see like this kind of heavy thickness instead of like a delicate conformity to its round shape that starts, you know, kind of giving things away. Or, you know, this one's another one that, like, it looks like it's got like the heavy ridges as opposed to something that's smoother. So let's see. Is the counter swirl of the shell anything like a fluke and a flounder? The fluke eye migrate to the wrong side. That's a great question. Who wants to answer that one? And so here again, we have some that are, you know, we've got something shallow with a huge aperture, and so not quite the right shape. You know, that's kind of getting more towards like maybe ficusy looking shells, and not so stacked on the top, very, very flat. And so we're back into a shell like this guy. You know, if I want to get in there and uncover its bottom, I'll bet you anything we get a positive ID like that. We can take this all the way, because we could find out if there's enough, you know, of the aperture to kind of figure out from top to bottom what this guy is. And a lot of times, you know, if it's worn away too much on the shell, then you can't get the information that you need. Like, you can see, getting closer. Can you see that all right? There's some really great ridges here, and that can so be part, that doesn't look like it's in very good focus, that you guys can see from the shading that we do have enough of the shell where we're getting ridge information. And probably when I uncover some of this from the matrix, then we'll be able to see the shell in its original form. One of the things that happens, you guys, is that the ocean might tumble a shell around before it gets compacted into a concretion, you know, if it's a death plate or something like that, as opposed to an organic concretion. And so I've uncovered some of them and had them like look just like the ones that are super worn out. Like these guys are, you know, this is the way I found these ones, and they're just super worn out. And so it's kind of funny. You never know what you're going to get when you get in there, because it wants to have been preserved. I have mentioned it before that if a hermit crab wears the shell, it'll start growing the reef on it, and that's a bryozoan growth. And so it actually ends up preserving the shell itself. That's kind of bothering me. I'm wondering if I can get it into better. There. Is that more crisp? So we can get to the shell itself and find out a lot more information when we can remove something from it and have the fresh shell be there. So we'll get to that guy here in a bit. So yeah, we're on these gastropods that have the kind of the shallower whorls that like look like the quintessential snail. And I feel like we kind of got close to that one, but not 100% sure. Um, we've got the crepidula, and I've got an example of it here. It kind of reminds me of a mini abalone shell or something like that, although you've got like a kind of bit of a whirl that starts here and makes its way out. I guess abalones have that too. And we've got some examples here. And I'm pretty sure what we have here a lot is it's the princeps, but I'm not entirely sure. The crepidula princeps. This one doesn't have an awesome shell. I've got more of these in my collection that most of the time we're looking at one species that like they all mate together, and they do this this little stack. I don't know if you've seen it before. Like there might be 5 or 6 of them stacked. Sometimes you find these, or you see it in a conglomerate or concretion, and you're thinking that it is a nautilus because they'll stack and they're having good times, if you catch my drift. And they look just like the segments of a nautilus, and so your heart can skip a beat, and then you need to then you need something to make you happy again, because it can be a lot misleading. We do have the turritellus. I have not found very many turritella shells. I think it's more of a Washington thing, but who knows? We do actually south of here. I found some at the spot that I was finding the echinoid stuff. And so it's just so weird. Like we're talking about, for me, I should have clarified this a bit ago, that the shells that we've been looking at so far in the collection are mostly Astoria formation, whereas these can be from a lot of different formations, and some of the formations seem to just not contain some whole species. Crispy bacon, that sounds nice. Bologna and crispy bacon sandwich. Babylon shells on the left coast. I don't know. Do you have like a little bit more of a scientific name, or is Babylon is that the colloquial name, or are we talking science with that? I'm not like that much of a, I'm not very versed on shells at large. I'm a little bit more of a specialist, or a lot of bit more of a specialist, because of the things that I've been able to find here. And so you can definitely illuminate for me. Caligula concretion, yes. For sure. The crepedulas are definitely Hail Caesar's Caligula time. You almost bought a nautilus last week. Oh man, it's so tempting, isn't it? I mean, why not? Why not have lots of them? I can't wait to. Oh, I have found them. Actually, or ammonites rather. Not the nautiloids. The nautiloids are what we would find here on our coast, and that's a bucket lister for me. And ammonites we don't have here on the coast, but we do have out in the center of our state. So I needed to clarify that before. Yeah, I see in all caps. What? Babylonia. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. As far as a shell species, I'm back. Was watching while stuffing. Oh, spinach mushroom pizza. You were saying pizza earlier. You were real. Oh, thank you, Shell. Or thank you, Thirst Fast, about the shells, and thank you, Pizza Twister, for the suggestion for dinner, because that's going to be really great when I get around to mine. Some more interesting guys. I found, this is not the one, but I've found some of these have a better example. I just grabbed a few handfuls of shells, and so I'm wondering if I actually brought up the examples that I was looking at downstairs. Nope. That one kind of has it. You see how we can see, you know, the ribbing going around this way, and then obviously some of the shells have it coming down this way as well. This one actually does make a good example of that, you know. And so there are some really wild, cool ones here to find. I want to collect them all. Pizza twister. I get weird when I'm hungry too. So again, more examples. A lot of these I haven't found yet, but I did see some of them in Kent's collection. And again, he's got the book. This is how I found out about this book, was being over at Kent's house, and he's like, "Oh yeah, here's the book." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So ficus, I have a ficus floating around here, but again, I think it was one of the ones that I didn't bring downstairs. One of the larger shells that we have in the area, and it looks like a fig, and so they called it the ficus. Taking a drink there, because I heard somebody say hydrate without even hearing it. Now we're getting into the ballpark of another set of shells that I find here on the regular. And I've got a few of the examples that are better ones. Since it's a big shell, they have the tendency to not be whole a fair amount of the time. Some of you might have saw the video where I found this one, and then I decided to prep it. And so we've got some great things that can help in our diagnostics. Am I blurry again, or do we have sharpness? Yeah, the fig shells are so cool, right? So one of the things that I thought was really interesting when I was reading up on this is that I'm gonna see if I can get in close. Now, this one is obviously polished, but it started off like this, but in more matrix. Like some of it was showing because, you know, it was broken, and you know, some of it is obviously worn away. But there was enough of it that wasn't, that I could get some of these wonderful spines out almost unaffected. You can imagine that they're probably nubbed down, but they might have been nubbed down during its life, not, you know, not because I ground them down. Okay, still bacony crisp. Okay, that's where the bacon came from. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yeah, nature does the very best art. So what I was going to show you that is diagnostic about this one is that this is a trophon, Oregonensis, or Oregonensis, however you want to attack your Latin. But the spines, can you see how that looks like somebody curling their tongue? Now let me turn it over. There's the tan part that goes around like a U shape, and then you can see some of the matrix inside. That's the gray stuff there. So that's not a play of color. That's actually the fact that it's kind of hollowish on the inside. It's curled. And then when you start looking at some of the other spines, you can see, oh yeah, look at that. That's curled. And then there's the matrix material right inside, instead of it being like a full just spine. And these ones got worked down. So, you know, had these guys not survived, like that pretty one there, that one's worked, that I wouldn't have been able to be for sure. But that was one of the things, is that you can have a spine that's not open on one side. Like it could still be hollow, but it's not open. And I was like, yes, all right, cool. We got it. We got it. It's got like that little lip thing. And so That being said, you see that on this page, I'll zoom back out, we've got some other alternatives though. It doesn't, like, just because these three shells look fairly similar in their shape, and the fact that we know that they have high spire or like node spines, doesn't mean that they're all. This guy is the Trophon oregonensis. It could be this guy, and I could even do a better job of showing you these because I think it's worth looking at. Like, there are some of our other possibilities with the shells that have spines, and these are all fossils that they took the pictures of, so they've lost their spines and they're lucky to have one or two of them that are diagnostic as well. And we have these lumpy node guys that kind of have spine slash these nodes. And so I'm thinking this guy, because of the shape of the aperture, we're probably pretty good, because that one has one of those thinner ones. Like, you got to get rid of about that much, right? And so we think, hopefully that shell hadn't lost it, but it does look like that, kind of like one of those thinner apertures. And so, and I keep on holding up this guy too. Thank you so much, Twister. I really, really appreciate that. That was part of the idea. It's kind of like how come I want to make thin sections of the petrified wood. It's not because I necessarily want to polish it that much, but I want to find out what it is. And so one of the coolest things about being able to prep, of course, the bones, but the shells, is so that you can take all this matrix away and you can find out who it was, and you get to be the first person that sees it. The Miocene era of say around 16 million years or so, middle Miocene for these guys. So we see that for sure we have a shell in here, and we see these are definitely where our spines are on the whorls. And we have the shape, but check out this aperture. It's like a different aperture. It looks like we have more of a heart shape, like half of a heart, as opposed to one of these kind of wide bells. And so we very may well have somebody totally different here. And so that's kind of exciting to me that, this might be a different guy than that, and we will not know. But I would like to, because it's carving and outdoor studio time, because of the summer, and it's the time to make a great big mess with prepping fossils, I believe that this is going to be one of the very next studio projects that we have. And of course, there will be a video based on it so that you guys can play along at home and prep this guy with me. Look at how fat that bottom is. And so, wow, there's a lot of information here. I believe that we're going to be able to figure out who this guy is. And I think he's going to be beautiful because there's a lot of preservation here. And again, you can see that there's when I was first rock hounding, I was walking along the beach and I'd see something like this, and it's an anomaly, right? And so you pick it up for sure. Like, what am I looking at? And then, I'm learning that this is a shell. But then I kept on wondering, why does it have that different texture? We have the matrix material, and then we have this. And I mentioned it earlier that that's the bryozoan layer. And I read in, I believe it's the other book that I have, the black and white one, that because these were a favorite house of the hermit crab, they would start growing the reef on their back. And, of course, the longer that they wear the shell, or many different crabs pass the shell back and forth, that they get more and more reef on them. And this different layer than the matrix, the bryozoans, can be up to 9 millimeters deep on these. So
how fascinating, and they do a great job of preserving the shell, as I showed you with this one. That's like almost all just bryozoan left over. You know, the matrix material has worn off, and we just have the bryozoans left. How cool is that? Those guys like preserved their little friend for you know, millions of years for us. Really quickly catching up on our comments here. Tighter embouchure on the aperture. Right? Are we gonna, do you guys want me to try to do a conch call with my buddy here, Lawrence? I mean, that would be fitting, right? Making some music with Lawrence. Let's see, fat bottom shell. That shell's thick. I love it. Makes the rocking world all go round. Yeah, for sure. Nice. All right. So yeah, we'll be prepping that with you guys. Moving on. Like if I saw that, I would totally think I was looking at a nautiloid, but that's the top view. But you can see we've got some others that, you know, have a very good possibility for, you know, having those spine and nodes. So cool. So these are all possible, and like once again, you know, these are in real size, and so this is what I'm looking for. Do I want to find these biggies? You betcha. And so that's a good day when we find those, and a 1 and a 2. And yeah, once again, I've got a piece of this sitting around somewhere. There's gonna have to probably be a part 2, like, because you guys want to know what happens with these preps, and I have some of these shells also. I just life didn't find them all before the live stream tonight, you guys, and so I guess I'm just zipping ahead. Look at all of these, like, don't those feel? They don't feel so Oregon to me as like I want them to be from some place that's exotic. You look so exotic. So pretty. Although actually, hey Jeff, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. We actually have ones like that, like right now, that are contemporary. Can you imagine? Ooh, that's a good one. So big. That's big. I have one in a shell. Like, okay, so, you know, going back to, you know, do we? Although, hey, Ken, the world is going the wrong way, isn't it? Look at that. So this is either a backwards whirl or coprolite or something like that instead. That was, hey, that's diagnostic. How about this one? Okay, that one could be the way it's going around. But I mean, anybody even have a guess on how that shape gets made then? It's crazy. So the world's going the correct way on the big one. Your dream hounding trip is starting in Washington, working your way down the coast to Mexico. Oh, nice. Rock Twister, do it. That would be such an amazingly cool tour. Fantastic. And Twister, thank you again. Shells do like it when you hit the like button. I really appreciate it. Or it's upside down and broken. It could be. Yeah, it's super interesting. I love the mysteries, you guys. Like, the mysteries definitely keep this interesting. I'm not just into finding. I do love the finding, but the finding out is, I have a voracious appetite. Like, pizza and finding things out are two very satiating things. Jeff was out at the quarry. Tell us, Jeff, how did you do at the quarry? We would love to hear. Here's another neat one with a big bell, like, aperture. So many possibilities. I'm working our way to the next one. That one. You know, and I'm not just all about the big shells, although they are like spectacular. Like I showed you on that other page, the ones that look like they're from exotic places, like some of these fancy shells. I mean, goodness, they're so pretty. Yeah, and depending on, you know, like one thing is our matrix is super hard, but it takes really good care of the ones that it takes good care of. It is a query. Indeed. Good chunks. Oh, I'm sure that we're all going to think it's going to be great. Jeff, what chunks of what? What were we going for? So some really odd shape. I mean, now we're into conchs. I could play those, right? I'd just be, you know, blasting you guys. We're getting the band back together. Some more big ones. So lots of potential answers for our mystery that's hiding inside the matrix. Although probably not that guy because it's got some spines on it. Got some littles. And let's get to... All right. So these ones look particularly ancient. I like that. You know, it's just starting to show through. But they thought it was precious enough to show this kind come in, you know, out of the matrix. Why? Because that is a fancy shell. You know, you've got like some really neat ribbing. You've got those fancy nodes. So pretty sure that that's what we have here. Here. This one's a little bit squatter. But the config of the way that these nodes are and how many of these ascensions we get until we get to the top, I haven't found in any of the other shells. And so that's kind of exciting because I was at first, because this came out of the same matrix as the Calicantharus carlsoni, I thought perhaps it was, and it was just like maybe a subspecies that had a lot of nodes on it. But because of this book, I'm absolutely confident that I was probably not right. I was maybe super extra double confident. And so this, let's see, if we're in the like, you know, the 7, 8, 9 zone here, we're in this Fusinus and Priscafusis. And so like these three are all three the same. The Priscafusis looks like there's a lot of variation. And so it makes me feel, I'm sorry, let me pan out so that makes sense to you. You know, that there's a possibility that these ones have variations in shape that we have, you know, the same thing, like these might be from up the coast a ways. So I'm going to do more research on this particular kind of bivalve, or rather, I'm sorry, gastropod, so that we can come to a conclusion. Yeah, because this one seems like tilted more, but that one seems like on the same angle as this one. So, you know, that doesn't seem like that's necessarily a diagnostic. Okay, Randy's probably here. You were at the world's largest marble quarry. Oh, very cool. Awesome, Jeff. It's like playing a trumpet. You don't just blow. Oh yeah. I play a trumpet, and I actually play the didgeridoo too, which is crazy because you depend on the back pressure and all that kind of stuff for it. Let's see. You found some cool stuff this week all together. Some good calcified shells. Nice. That have some good UV, good chert, jasper stuff, and that awesome Crowley. Is awesome and Crowley like not redundancy in terms? You must have been smiling. That's fantastic. Oh, Rocky Mountain Bear is here. Welcome. I'm not doing a tutorial on hairdressing this evening, although I will be working on that video for sure. And I don't know if I'm going to make it a full length or what I'm going to do with it, integrate it into something else. Maybe you guys can weigh in, but we had a request or 5 for you know, how you throw your hair up with those hair sticks. And so we're going to do that. All right, Greg, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you've been up for a really super long time. You have a great weekend too. And hope you get some rock play in for sure. It's the first real agate that you found? Oh my gosh. Well, way to just go to the top of the stack, Jeff. That's fantastic. So I mentioned the Calycanthus carlsoni. And this was the very first shell that I decided to prep ever. And I did it with a Dremel tool, and it was already worn out when I got the matrix off. This had been worn probably by generations of hermit crabs, and this was wearing away already, as you can see. From matrix, but the matrix was on this. That's why we have some of that lovely color. And it's so different from this guy. I had thought at first maybe they were the same, but I don't think so. So anyways, there's a comparison for you. And again, the shells have so much, like, just minor variation between each other. Like, here's an unprepped one I'm going to pan out. She says she's going to pan out, but yet, oh, it's the book. It's very tall. There we go. So they seem like they could be in the same family, but you know, these two don't have anywhere near the nodes of this guy, and I believe that these two are the Calycanthus carlsoni, and I think we are into the fusinus with the other guy, and that's very, very exciting. So I'm going to have to open up some more of my concretions, like the guy that I showed you before. This one should be so good, you guys. We have this one here, remember? But like, this one is completely from the bottom all the way to the top, encased in its bryozoans and in the matrix. So we should really be able to get a fabulous, I don't think that's part of it, a fabulous ID on this guy. So maybe a video on this guy and this guy. I would take you guys along, like I would take you straight outside and we'd just start prepping, but it's loud, and you know, I could have you guys turn volume off and it would be like one of those ASMR or, you know, just watch type things. But I think it'll be more interesting if we do a video instead. Yeah, Sonia agrees. Clanking, clattering, cacophony of calcareous clam folk. Oh my gosh, I love that. You just did that, Thirst. Oh, that's fantastic. Talk about an onomatopoeia. Yeah. All right. So let's see. I think that might be our last. Yep. Okay. So we did the short version of the big red book of shells. It's kind of like for Greg, it was a bedtime story. So some of the stuff that's been going on in the studio, let's move that. We have been Viking weaving. I had put that on the shelf for a little bit, and I'm working on like the tiniest of tinies as far as a weave goes. Here is a copper Viking weave. This is just a little bracelet that I made. I tried a new thing and I made a Viking weave ring. And that was super fun. With a little, it's a blue chalcedony with red dendrite, so like a red moss agate. And so this, those of you who have been out in the, if you have been trying some of this stuff like the Viking weave or twisting, you know that it can be a thing. It can be a lot. And so I needed to take a break from it for a little bit. Oh, honeycomb coral fossil. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I actually forgot to show you guys something out of my group here that wasn't a shell. Thank you. Zoom in on that bad boy. Which bad boy? Are we talking about the ring? Thank you very much also, you guys. Very, very much for the thing, the you know, coolnesses and all that kind of stuff. Wow, that's a lot. So yeah, it's a 5mm stone that I cut. And boy, that's some that's a rough cut on my my nail polish, isn't it? This is what happens. That divot is what happens when you are making jewelry and you use your fingernail to hold something that you're sawing. And I'm trying to get that into focus. But is that what you wanted to see? It's not acquiescing to my request, but yeah, that's blue and red. And so what's neat about it is that it looks like it's purple when, you know, your eyes kind of do the Vincent van Gogh thing where, or Matisse thing where, you know, they mix the paint. So thank you, Sonia. Man, you know, Viking weaving is so much fun, and I love what you can do with it and how pretty it is. But yeah, it's like, it makes me go cross-eyed if I do too much of it all at once. And so let's see, where are we? I wove a ring. Yeah, this guy got woven like this. And then the trick was I hammered it. So I put it on the ring mandrel, and I took my my dog toy, you know, mallet, and I flattened it so that it's no longer, you know, like has a diameter, that it's now a ring band. And yeah, this is actually the prototype. I could not wait to try it. You know, the ideas that you get when you're bored with something else, and so there. Or, you know, I'm weaving along and I'm like, you know, I wonder if I could try a thing, and so I did. Yeah, you thought it was purple. I love that the red mossing does that. Yeah, we're trying to mispronounce all of the possible words this evening. And so yeah, this is what the Viking weave looks like when you're weaving it. And you can see, like, gosh, I think this is like a 28 gauge. And so this one's making me go cross-eyed, but it's going to be so cool when it gets done. And the reason why I'm doing it is I think that instead of a lot of times I like to hang my pendants from just like a simple black cord, because choosing somebody's chain is like choosing their hairstyle for them. You like, there's so many chains and they're so particular as far as what people like, thin or thick or, fancy and shiny or very, very muted and, unassuming so that it's just setting off the piece. And so I like to just, it's pret-a-porter. You can wear it right away with the black cord, and then you can take it off and, put it on whatever, chain you want to put it onto. And sometimes I make the chains. I really like the bar and loop style chain, and so like that's a possibility for this one. But I think that that's too angular. This is so round. It's so about like, just wonderful round. So I thought if I make a silver Viking weave that is thinner, this is like probably about, I think this is a 3mm cord, and it's feeling about the same, maybe a bit bigger, so 4mm or something like that. So this guy should be really thin, like it should be like maybe a 2mm Viking weave, and I think that might look really good with this, with a recurrent pattern, kind of like the circles and the lines of the ammonite. And so I'm gonna catch up with the chat really quick, and you guys can tell me what you think as far as like, what the look of that might portend. Oh, sweet. I'm glad that you're learning and that it's still actually fun. Do you have a video on doing the Viking weave? Jeff, you know what? I have been requested a lot to do one. And although I would consider myself still a beginner, I would be happy to make a video about it because I think that the more videos out there, like if somebody hadn't made a good video, I wouldn't know how to do it. And I'm trying to think of who it was whose video finally got me to try it, because I had been wanting to try it, and I was like, honestly, I was just like, do I need another puppy? Do I need to adopt another thing that I do regularly? And I was like, yes, you totally do. And so shoot, I will put the name of whom I learned from in a video into the comments or description of this video. And so if you want to return and check it, and I can find that the person that is fabulous at teaching. And so I jumped right in and figured it out. And so we'll do it. You have a pool noodle. Well, good for you, Uncut. Welcome in. Let's see. Viking weave. No Viking for an old man. Yeah, I think that would be good. And Lisa loves the black cord. And so, for me, it's kind of like a little black dress, like black, black anything goes with everything. And I love the simplicity of it. And so, it's kind of like a lot of people like to put their artwork into a black frame because it just, how did I get this on here in the first place? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it just kind of sets off a thing. Although I don't know. I'm undecided. And so it's probably going to have to be up to the person who acquires this, whether they get it on the black cord or if they want the fancy. Can you see the schiller, you guys? Look at the schiller in that. That big pink blaze in the middle is schiller, copper schiller. And how can you not love, you got to stop not liking shells, and you got to stop not loving schiller, because sunstones are so addictive because of that. Like, it looks like a lovely kind of champagne stone, but then it's like, what? I love it. Okay. So nice. Yeah, I always send, so Rock Twister said, I love displaying on the cords. I always send the jewelry out pret-a-porter, like I said, ready to wear. I really don't like selling just a pendant, especially if you're gifting it to somebody, you know, then like it's a gift that comes with like, oh, okay, but then they have to buy something or switch it to a you know, a chain that they already have. So I like to sell it with something on it, and then if you want to, like, then you have a black cord that you can use with other jewelry, but then you can also use your very favorite chains with something as well. No mods in here tonight. Yeah, no, I don't have any mods. I need to make some mods happen. Although I think that innocuousness is not going to be an issue until it is, and then I'll think of something. It's okay. Yeah, who wants to be a mod? You guys can. I should do the lapidary Dave thing and just mod you all. Well, you know, perhaps that, or we just need to you know, make you disappear, because that's what other people can do. Just make a person disappear and you don't see them anymore, and then it's done. Does Jeff want to be a mod? I'm catching up here. Somebody needs to be. Did somebody step forward, or did everybody take one step back? Meanwhile, and I will do it. That's a threat. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's enough of that. What else do I gotta do? Who wants to be? Okay. Let's see. There you go. Okay. Okay, guys, taking a little moderator moment here. All right. I think I'm doing it. You guys will have to. Okay. I don't know the difference between the moderators. There. Okay, and moving on. Thanks, guys. So we have, these guys are drilled chips, and I've been making different things, like the earrings that I'm wearing right now, and this is a pair that's kind of like them, although these are on earring wires, but I did mine as post, but I wanted to, like, this is a piece of matrix material with sunstone in it. This is what we mine. Sometimes you pick them up off the ground in the public the public collecting area, but you don't, like, that's BLM, so obviously you don't resell any of that material. And then otherwise you're hard rock mining, or you're going to the mine to get bucket loads of what they pull out, and sometimes you're still breaking it out of this matrix to get it, and then other times you know, they've put it through one of those machines that grades it down to the size. And I don't know how many of you guys have seen the sunstone in the matrix, but you can see that's totally busted apart already. So a lot of the sunstones come really quite small, and you just don't even bother with them because they're so small you wouldn't do anything with it. That's a sunstone sitting there in the matrix material. There's some more. Fingernail for reference size. And so, sometimes if something like that comes out of the rock and it's of a size that you still can use, but there's like fractures inside or something like that, a friend got us or gave us these that they had mined, and they tumbled them. And once they're tumbled, kind of like the opals, boy, they've already been through, some really hard times. And so that they're holding together. And so I was like, yeah, that's a great application of these little guys that otherwise, I can't facet them. What else is going to happen? And so, yeah, making some really super cool jewelry, but like it's a 1 millimeter diamond drill that I'm using to drill the holes in those guys. But I think it's been super, super worth it so far. Let's see. I know, right? I'm going back up the comments, and I'm like, yeah, you hardly ever see people really actually come down and bomb like that. And so usually I just look the other way, during the podcast, we've hardly ever had to bump somebody. I'm very mild about it, and then like if they just need to say one thing, and then you're like, yeah, okay. Alrighty. All right. Thanks, Kirk. I'll be looking forward to seeing your cool stuff. Cheers and have a great weekend. Okay. Look at Allison swimming in the deep end like a big kid. No more bad chat. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah. I think we've got, oh, Ken, you wanna? Oh, cool. All right. Yeah. Ken gets to too. I missed that. So there we go. Yeah, I'm going back through. Your sunstone isn't transparent, thirsts fast. Grows in big, well-terminated crystals and has confetti. Okay, so thirst fast. The sunstones come from a lot of different places. And so, it's a form of like feldspar, labradorite, the cousin of labradorite rather, or moonstone. And they have different formations in Utah. A lot of it comes out of India. What we have here is the only copper bearing, and I see up there that I have a question about that scrolling weathered or vesicular. So this is basalt, and that's how it comes out. And so it is an act of the volcanic reaction that the basalt gets the feldspar crystals inside, and they are growing and cooling at a different rate during that volcanic reaction than the basalt is cooling. And so we get, you can kind of see the sparkles and shine. Like this is absolutely gravid with little feldspar crystals that wanted to be bigger sunstones. And, sometimes it works out that you get bigger crystals. Bigger crystals means more room, right? So forming lower, I think, is how that goes, but that might not work with the volcanic. Look at this. We're going to do something. You guys ready? Am I going to be able to do it? Yep. Cool. Like some of that dust just went into my keyboard, which probably wasn't very good, but so you can see that the basalt can be rotten. This was towards the top. And so this basalt was weathered enough that stuff is like coming out and it's breaking apart rather easily. Whereas some of the stuff that's still underground, which at the mines, what they're doing the solid of for us is that they're clearing that overburden. You can see a lot of fun little crystals in there. Nothing big. I was hoping that if we cracked it open, we'd, have like a big red cherry sunstone sitting inside. But alas, no, not so much. There you can see some formation though. Yeah. So this one was up closer to the top, but yeah, the mines they use their big dozers, to dig out to the layer that has the good gems coming out. So let's see. So suns are feldspar, yes. Let's see. Wait, what? Karen's like Oprah? You get a wrench and you get a wrench and you get everybody gets a wrench, yeah. Y'all got your wrenches. You got yours at the Lost Mine. I'm not sure where the Lost Mine is, Thirst Fast. Hey, John, welcome in. Heidi ho. Going backwards in time here. They are so pretty tumbled. I wouldn't have known that, Allison, had not somebody given me some. Don't think I have any other sunstones or moonstones, either one. Yeah. So there's different places where we can go find them, but it seems like they have their very locale specific intricacies. They form all over the planet in like huge amounts, but boy, they sure do carry their end result in different ways. You've seen a lot from California. Yeah, different kinds, huh? Rockin' Wheelers is in the house. Welcome. I think we're all doing super good. The withdrawal of no Kyle tomorrow. I know. What is everybody going to do with their Saturday? K alteration. That's a possibility. Thirst fast. I was giving the explanation that I was given. I'm not a geology scholar in any form. So that's the story as I understand, that the Steens Mountain went off, and during the Yellowstone hotspot era, or the Columbia River basalt upheaval there, and that flowed out to its locality, which is quite a distance from the Steens, over near Paisley, Oregon, and that the feldspar crystals cooled at a different rate than the basalt, and that's why they shattered. So, not sure otherwise. But boy, I would love to know more. If somebody wants to do more research or bring me the right paper to read, I would love to do so, because you guys know how high centered I am on those. I love them so much. Shoot, I can put these back in while I'm catching up. You guys can look at the basalt. Oh, hey, Sean. Nice to see you. Oh, can't chat, but yeah, because you're always at work. I'm so sorry. I should do a live stream at some other time so that you don't have to be at work for it, huh? Flashy feldspars. Absolutely. I love them too. They, like I said, they come in so many different flavors. So tasty. And thank you, Rockin' Willers. You're so very generous with your compliments. I very, very much appreciate it. Sunstone Knoll in Utah. Yeah. I wouldn't know if a Rocky Mountain Bear, I'm not sure about their beauty, because we didn't have a chance to check it out. We buzzed straight to Topaz Mountain the one time that I've ever been there, and we didn't get to go to the Sunstones. The Topaz were worth it. I feel like I'm pretty satiated with the ones that we have here, but I have heard about the Utah ones, and I'm hoping that they're very cool. I mean, it would be neat to go out and check it out, I think. Yeah. All right. So, as I promised Ken, we're gonna detach from the holder. We're gonna walk around a little bit, and you guys, no judging, because this is my studio, and so I actually work here, and so it's not the most tidy, but you guys wanted to see what was in the background. And so, like, I have a dry erase board right out there. So I have the pens. Of course, there's seeds so that I can reseed my garden. I've got an encaustic that I made with my son, another encaustic and gold leaf. My old license plate from Arizona, which was the yellow sub because it was a yellow escape. I have a trilobite from Lisa. This is Hardy, and they're my mascots. This is Laurel, both from Lisa for Christmas. Thank you, Lisa. And this is a hummingbird nest that has a pine cone in it right now, but how rare and awesome is it for a hummingbird to come and make a nest in your tree and have a family and then move along. And so I was like, wow, that's a neat thing. And that happened twice, and both times were in Arizona when I was there. This is actually one of the ammonite fossils, guys, that I found. Let's see if I'm going to put it on my... Okay, there's dust everywhere in my studio, and the reason why is because I run my tools in here, and so you guys can only imagine that the dust, like, I can't keep up with it. So that is a partial ammonite that we found here in Oregon, nacre, and you can see it was quite a bit bigger because that's the outer spiral, and so... I keep this stuff close to me because you guys know how badly, for one thing, I wanted to find an ammonite for a really long time, and I finally got to. I've got some bigger specimens downstairs, and that's why one day when we all grow up and I'm in a better place, we're all going to go downstairs and you can see some of my other specimens. That's more my rock room. One of those drawing things that you use when you're doing life drawing, of course, holding a rock. These are my Warfield fish fossils. And as you know, that here's another ammonite, actually. Kyle and Theo and another video channel and possibly even another video channel are all going out there to meet at the Warfield. These ones were brought to me by my brother, who went last year and was nice enough to give me some of his Nidia, and my mom actually did as well. She gave me this guy that is that the one? Pretty sure. Let's see here. Does it look prepped? Yeah. So I prepped that one because, he's a headless Nidia, but a Nidia that's nice nonetheless. I think I have the other half here. No, I don't. Okay, so what was the deal was that the fish wasn't showing altogether, and so I went ahead and uncovered. You can see like the ridge around the tail where I got in there, and I prepped it. And so that was like, okay, that's it. I need to go to the Warfield as well. And so we're headed that way. And so that'll be fun. I'm missing out on some of your these are old hydrangeas without any hydrogen or any water in them. And I actually print from them. So you guys all know the neon sign. That was my open sign when I actually had my Ozone Fine Art Gallery. That was the sign for that. Top of my roll top desk has like all manner of like, I find stuff like this on the beach. You know, people's fishing gear. And then, like I said, a lot of stuff for photo ops. I'm working on this for my dad. This was a blue bed thunder egg that he found. I polished this side, but I was waiting for the summer. I got this far last year on it, and then it started raining, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that with my wet angle grinder anymore. Virgin Valley wood that doesn't have opal in it. I mean, it is such a freaking mishmash up here. It's not even funny. A graveyard point up there, glass butte. You guys saw this, the little hedgehog geode question mark that we're not sure about. Just everything finds its way up here. If it's on its way back downstairs, or if I'm using it to do a photo shoot. Here's some of Jared Leitner's, or the Cliff Walker rock hounding, rest in peace. This is some of his jade that he was hoping was turquoise and had near a test. So here's that, some pretty opal. Fossils. This is a Beulah fossil plant matter that we have. What did I miss about Twister? Oh, wow. Thank you, Twister. Awesome. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. You just helped my entry fee into the Warfield, for real. You know, I'm putting my money together for that. So I so appreciate that. Hopefully I get lots and lots and lots of fish, and you just helped. I'm so happy that that's going to somebody that we all know and love. So yeah, some more. This is actually from the Richardsons. I mined that, and I think I showed it on a podcast, like the geode one, maybe, like that we should open it, and little geode limcast kind of situation. Up here we have more of the Beulah fossils and some of the bigger limcasts, and that guy there is my little, what I believe is a fish cranium. We have some cobwebs that I didn't get to, and the hand is holding yet another fossil. My uncle gave me that cricket cage when I was 6, and it's got the other hummingbird nest in it. More fossils, more graveyard point, and some other stuff up there. I mean, so you can kind of see it's just like such a mishmashy amalgam back here. Marlena gave me that card. You know, it's like the geode from Dustin, and some more of his awesome drusiness, petrified wood back there. Another pectin. No method to the madness, an awesome Beulah leaf. Beulah, I gotta go back to Beulah. I love Beulah so much. This is 2 leaves, actually. Look at that. You can see the laces in the leaf, like the structure of that is so cool. Yeah, and I still have to do a bunch of research on the different like there's a stick back there from Beulah. So who knows, like if it's Calamides or something like that, I don't know. Yep, you guys all know about the super scary white rabbit. And I really like old tools. There's my dog toy, metal shears, faceting machine. You do not need to see in there. That's super scary. This is what's going on. So that's always, Like, I think that this is the same stone though that we were working on like 2 weeks ago. I've been so busy with everything else and trying to get our carvings done that yeah. And so we saw that stuff, and I think that, oh shoot. Okay, we're going back in the saddle. And I'm gonna try not to get rid of you guys, right? And then we'll do that. All right. So I think that was we successfully were able to take a tour and move the camera and have it not die. So that's a thing. We can tour around, which is actually super cool, because then I can take you, to different places, like outside if we do want to actually carve at some point, or for a little tour in some of the other parts where there are more things, where my rock room is. All right, and so I'm gonna catch up here really quick. It looks like their Spas is rolling on out. Thank you, Rock and Willers. I love having lots of different specimens. I miss Cliff Walker too very, very much. Sean, I couldn't read the comments while we were taking our tour. I was trying not to like stumble over all my stuff. Yeah, thank you, John. He was saying that I shouldn't apologize for my work environment. Like, I'm kind of like a chaos worker. And so, I do like a certain amount of tidy, but then, I'm not cleaning all the dust off every time. I clean my machines every time, but yeah. Did we just die? Are we still on? Oh, okay. I thought we just died. It did something weird. Okay. Okay, so I'm still catching up with you guys. Okay, good. Still here. Wow. Like my phone just did a weird thing, and I was like, okay, I did move it, and now it's like going weird on me. We're not dead yet. Yeah, creative chaos is just kind of, I guess, where the, feels like the mother's womb, or the ocean, or whatever. Thank you, Allison. Thank you. So Ken, hopefully that was all right. I know it wasn't as exciting as it could have been, but can't get rid of us that easy. Awesome, you guys. And so Patrick is getting an echo. And I'm trying to hear if we have it here. I don't think so. I think I still just hear the music. No echo. Huh. Well, maybe my stomach was going blurp, blurp, and echoing some of the things that I was saying, because I forgot to have anything to eat before I got down with all of you guys here. And so I can let you guys in. And Patrick, welcome into the house. Thank you for coming. And so let's see. Oh, thank you about the opal carving, Rock and Willers. I appreciate that. Cynthia is here. Oh, the plant fossils. I got it. Yeah, the plant fossils need their video. I did like a video finding them, but I haven't done an identification video on what I got that day. And I've been up to Beulah only once, and I found a pine cone, and that's actually not in here. And so
maybe we'll go through the plants next time, and maybe I can find a OSU book that they'll loan me, because that was from their library. My big red book is from the library. That guy right there. Maybe I can get the one on fossil plants, and we can do kind of like a little exploration on that. That might be a plan. But oh, thank you. I love the fossil plants too. Um, so, that all being said, I really hope, thank you so much for being here. And if I missed a comment or something like that, I'm sorry. You know, sometimes you gotta shout at me, like put it in all caps or something like that. Yeah, the pine cone was the last thing that I found that day. And it was in this like huge slab, and I didn't care. I'm just like, I'm carrying this thing back to the truck, and this is like a little pine cone, but it's like, yes. Yeah, only expecting to find plants there, but and of course, like a seed or a fruit is still part of the plant, but that was such gravy. And there's some other stuff that might be there too that I'd like to go back to. Oh, you're working on a fossil prep, Cynthia. What are you prepping? That is awesome. And yeah, I was yeah. So I guess we might have had two pages open for Patrick as well. Yeah, I definitely did a great job at doing showing everybody how to do that at the beginning of the video for sure. Go bold sandmaker. Backstroke. The drill you used on the sunstone, was it hollow or solid? That is a great question. It was a 1 millimeter diamond solid, not a drill bit. Like they sold it as a drill bit, but it is. Oh my gosh, I have it right here. What are the odds? There's absolutely no way that you're going to actually be able to see this, is there? I'm like trying to hold it to the camera. Oh my gosh. It literally just has the, yeah, that's just too small. Maybe, and it won't zoom when it's in selfie mode. But yeah, it is, you can see that the texture changes at the tip. That last, like say 2 millimeters there, that is the diamond coating. And so it's basically like a steel pin with diamond coating at the very end. Does a absolutely smashing job though on the sunstones. I love this more than like say like a spiral drill config. And so they do wear out because it's so small, but well worth it. Not very expensive, and I mean they don't shatter, making the teeny weeniest of like, that's not going to be able to get in there either. I mean, it's like tiny little holes in those guys. And so big enough to get like a 20 gauge wire through though, because that's right around 1 mil. So thank you for whoever was Allison, thank you for pointing that out to me. And conglomeration, horn coral, and some crinoid bits so far. Awesome. And thank you. Yeah. The sunstone little bits are so much fun that I'm like finding all these places to put them. Of course, in the hair sticks, but also earrings. There's going to be some more different things that are going to get some sunstones as well, guys. I should be talking to you guys here instead of talking to your comments on the computer. It's been a long week. Has it been a long week for anybody else? I'm so happy it's Friday. I'm so happy to be spending Friday with you guys. Is it possible to make a pendant from those plant fossils? Gosh, I don't think so. Yeah, these guys are probably like you'd have to do a lot of stabilization, if not like, just uh put it in a colloid of epoxy or something like that. Um yeah, I gotta look you guys in the eye, that one right there. Has it been a very long week for you too, Rocky Mountain Bear? Boy, yeah, epoxy. Um, for sure. And these are rather large fossils also. So maybe smaller fossils, and also, yeah, the plant fossils are definitely in too light of a kind of sedimentary rock. But some fossils, like the matrix material for our fossils at the beach, if it wasn't from the beach, or if it was for your own use, you could totally make a necklace out of any of them. Sends Bear a hug. That's nice. Oh yeah, yeah, Jenny. I think that they vary. Like, if you were to find a plant fossil here on the beach, you could make it into a necklace because the matrix is so good. And so I think it totally has to do with just where, like, just these guys wouldn't be. It would be a little bit on the sketchy side for ours. Like, I've seen some people find some the maple, it looks like a fly, the maple seed that looks like a little butterfly or something like that. That would make a neat piece of jewelry. Also, most of the places that I know of to gather the fossils are BLM. But if you were to find it on private land, again, you could do whatever you wanted to with it. BLM land, it's not supposed to be for commercial use. So John, Karen, he says, you briefly mentioned stabilization. Do you have a special juice mixture for your stabilizing, and does it change dependent on the stone? I don't have a huge amount of stabilization experience, and some people are way more advanced because they will do something where there's an actual infusion. You use a machine for that. I don't, and so any of the stabilization that I do is an application, and that can be anything from the B72 to like just a CA, or epoxy for that matter. I use CA for like the Virgin Valley woods that needed stabilization to see if there was opal inside them and that sort of thing. So that's a great question. I think that it depends on the stone, and it depends on how thoroughly you need the stabilization to be. Like, if you're stabilizing a whole piece of turquoise or something like that, it would be best off, I think, having one of the pressurized machines to do it. But that's kind of like out of my wheelhouse. Like, just for stabilizing fossils, it's kind of you do it as you go along, and cover what needs to be covered. That's where I've gone with it so far. Like, say if Kent was taking a skull out of the matrix, he'd be following it up with the B72 as he's going along, or Mam Lambo. So that, if you're using acid or something like that, that it's not getting to it. You don't have to stabilize it if it's also like got some nice permineralization. So a lot of those things don't need to be stabilized per se. They just need to be protected from acid that is being used to prep them. So there's kind of like a difference there, that like I went into an area myself, I tangented, where we went from just stabilization to preservation. So I guess there's kind of a blurry line in between that. Like, we got into some heavy kind of dark trap there for a second. Okay. So AL is here. Hey, we're just wrapping it up, AL, but thank you so. Oh, and Allison's like, the music just got cooler. Yeah, it got heavy. So I'm going to let y'all get on with your beautiful Friday night, and I'm going to go have something to eat. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Find some rocks, get some sun, hopefully, or get some rain if that's what you're needing. I hope you get what you need, whatever that might be. I'm sure that we're all going to find each other somewhere tomorrow on somebody's live. I'm so sorry that Kyle's not going to be doing his, but then again, he's going to be out like bebopping around making a great video for us. And so we'll be looking forward to that. And meanwhile, like I said, thanks for coming by. Special thanks for all you guys that have been supporting the channel and the over on the website, the jewelry. I really appreciate the purchases. You guys rock. And yeah, we will definitely see you next time. Until then, cheers. Sign Kern and all that kind of good stuff. I'll bring it right up. Cheers.